Hello guys, it's me, Red the Epic Dinosaur, and Happy New Year to all of you that are seeing this video. Hope you have an amazing year and the best wishes for 2025. So today I wanted to highlight my favorite vehicles released in 2024 in Forza Horizon 5. Each one of them from all the updates that we got from January 2024 to December. So with this out of the way, let's start. We're gonna start with the January update that we got a lot of recycled vehicles from Forza Horizon 4. Not many like that idea, but I was prepared for it. Usually the team takes a break on January, which is deserved. So my favorite vehicle was the 2008 Aston Martin DBS. Completely fall in love due to the Bond movies. The Aston Martin DBS is such a spectacular looking vehicle, and well, it was the sole reason I kept playing Forza Horizon 4. And well, I still play it until to this day on my Asus Ally, and it's just a spectacular vehicle to just drive around. Not specifically to race only, but it's just a car to just relax. I love this car. The sound of this vehicle was fixed. I remember doing a rant back then about this specific vehicle and how playground games screw the sound of such vehicle. But the sound got fixed. It's not 100% accurate, but you know it is still close, and until this point you can just get over it and just move on. But in this particular car is just absolutely amazing. It's quite of a shame that was one of the cars that was opted for being on the Horizon backstage, but lose the contest, the voting against the other cars. So yeah, my favorite car for the January update. So let's move on to February. So in February we started with brand new vehicles, not recycled vehicles from Forza Horizon 4, and also a new car pack, the Chinese car pack. And I remember very well that was a bit controversial. People thinking that was basically the Chinese takeover and all that stuff. I remember making two videos about the impact of the Chinese vehicles on the game, and also my review of the Chinese car pack. If you want to check it out, is on the Eye on the Sky. Well, for this month I wanted to mention the Hyundai Kona, a daily driver. You will think, well, there's a boring car. Well, is why I really like thinking out of the box vehicles, like daily drivers, things that you see normally on the road and you don't pick for a racing game. The Hyundai Kona N fits perfectly. I think it's a car that does brilliantly on races, especially with the front wheel layout, makes it for a nice little fun car for closed circuits. I think the car is very responsive, it drives incredibly good. The small engine makes enough power for such scenarios of closed tight circuits, and also very surprising for dirt racing too. Again, as a small engine with enough power for B700 does a really good job. And I think in B700 the balance is perfect. It's a perfect vehicle for both the scenarios in my opinion. A small engine that, again, against the high B8 SUVs that you get in its class, makes it for something different, but also really radical, and it's something that I really appreciate of the Hyundai Kona. So it's my car that I pick on February. Really cool. I really recommend it if you have the chance to get it on the auction. But if it goes in the backstage, I'm not gonna be surprised if this car doesn't get voted enough. But you know, it is what it is. So hopefully you get one of those. It's a really good recommendation to get one of these Hyundai Kona Ns. So let's move on to March. So in March we got another set of new vehicles and also another car pack. And my favorite car is the Aston Martin AMR Pro. Wow, the Valkyrie AMR Pro, it's an absolute beast of a car that you can take for an S2998 and performs so well. It takes corners at such high speed that sometimes you actually take them really tight and you can miss the checkpoints. But the performance of this vehicle is stunning. Almost 1,000 horsepower that you have to get it restricted to get it into S2998. I remember very well people getting mad about it because they wanted to make this car like a huge contender against the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento Forza edition. But I think the car as it is, even with the restrictor plate, it performs brutally quick against the Brabhams and the Sesto Elemento FEs. And well, coming from a radical car like it is the Aston Martin Valkyrie, well, the race version is such good performing vehicle. Obviously pick for March, just a spectacular car that you can get on the backstage that yeah, completely recommended to get it there. If you have like enough backstage vouchers, spend it on one of those. It's a really good car. So let's move on to the next month. So time for some American recognition with the Ford Mustang SVT Cobra, the Terminator. I loved SN95s, and when this car got released, it was a really nice surprise. Well, we got already the Cobra R, but let's face it, the model is a bit old. And to be fair, I'm not a big fan of the looking of the Cobra R, but the SVT Cobra brought also another cool surprise. You can replicate the Celine S281. Yeah, the same car that gets crushed in Too Fast Too Furious. Yeah, that same one. Is a fantastic, good looking car. I absolutely love the S281 from 2003. You can replicate it. There is a lot of libraries that actually make the car look like the one from Too Fast Too Furious. But it's just a really cool car, especially for someone that likes SN95 Gen Mustangs. And even when the handling is a bit boaty, is not the best, I think the acceleration and the top speed are decent enough for A800. Thus, for a really good car that it defends itself for a lineup of Mustangs that are very competitive on this field. So nice recommendation there. Also, if appears on the backstage, hopefully. Well, this one was a bit difficult because this month that I wanted to mention, the one from April-May, brought a lot of race cars. And even when I'm a big fan of GT3 and GTLMs, there are cars that kind of drove the same with tiny small differences. Sure, there were some honorable mentions, but it was very complicated. But one of those cars stood the best and was the Hyundai Elantra NTCR. Due to the fact that was a good addition to the TCR cars that are in the game, the A800 touring cars that we got that were pretty much dominated by Chinese cars like MG and Lynk & Co. This Hyundai is much better to drive, responses much better, and overall feels more planted than the Lynk & Co. and the MG, faster than the MG, and handles better than the Lynk & Co. Another banger with the Elantra N. Sadly, we don't got the normal version, but you know, we can wait probably for Forza Horizon 6, hopefully. But yeah, that's the card I wanted to just bring out for this. So let's move on to Horizon Retro Wave, my favorite update of all the year. The ambience, the music, everything of this update was spectacular. The starting screen was really good, and well, brought really cool cars as well. But my favorite car of this part was the Lamborghini Countach LPI 800-4. It's pretty useful. total Lamborghini V12, especially on Forza Horizon 5. They are pretty dominating, considering the fact that we had a lot of Aventadors that are really good. The LPI 800-4 kind of gets the same treatment. Really dominating car, 4-wheel drive, a lot of horsepower. A car that I put it on S1 900 and it still does a really good job to this day. It's a car that has a brutal acceleration, really good cornering, really good top speed as usual of these B12 Lambos. So yeah, getting the spot of the Hyundai Envision wasn't an easy task, but again, useful for the long run. Is something that I appreciate more than an iconic car that dies when the update moves on. In June, July, we got a new update and also the Universal Car Pack that I didn't like too much. If you want to check my review, it's there on the Eye on the Sky. It's a pretty hilarious one because I didn't like it too much. My favorite car for this update was the Toyota GR Yaris, a car that I love in real life. A high performance hot hatch that blows out of the water everything. Even its glass that it's staying that is pretty dormant, just a Subaru and a Mitsubishi Evo. But the GR Yaris came out and pretty much dominated easily. The GR Yaris is a spectacular car. Like the Kona N is useful for dirt and tarmac. The car responds really well. In B700, it's a really decent car, but you can get it up to A800 and even S1. I prefer to just keep it between B and A. I think the car does a better job in those levels. But yeah, a really good car with tons of customization, but the performance is the best, I will say, is when the car shines the most. And yeah, the GR Yaris was one of those cars that a lot of the people in the community wanted. So just an obvious pick for this update in June, July. In July, August, we got also another car pack, the last car pack for Forza Horizon 5. One of these cars of this car pack was highlighted, the AutoSam AC1. Man, this car has a lot of uses. It's a really good car for B, C, and A class. And I heard that this car is a monster in drag racing, even surpassing hypercars. Like, this is something that was obvious to pick. It's such a small key car. Just to get such surprising performance is outstanding. I think the AutoSam is just a really good option to just, pay a few bucks to get this car pack because, well, what do you expect of this key card, especially if you are into drag racing? Well, the AutoSam is gonna surprise you for sure. In August, September, we got other new cars, but I wanted to mention the Toyota Camry TRD. We go back to commuter cars. Well, we got the Hyundai Kona N, now the Toyota Camry. Well, you expected of this TRD version, the performance version of the Camry, to not be good, but man, this car in B700 was a surprise. I actually competed this car online and was able to beat Supras in B700, which I guess, well, I had my experience on online racing, but this car, for being a Camry in itself, it just drives really good. Well, 4-wheel drive, the acceleration is there, the top speed and handling is really good, especially on a lower class is when it shines the most. Does a really good job on circuits and short sprints. And even when it looks a bit humble, it's just your normal Camry, it's just a spectacular car in terms of performance. You don't expect too much of this Camry. And also you can have a bit of customization here and there. That doesn't look that bad. I think the Camry TRD deserves a spot for this video. absolutely stunning car. Moving to the September-October update, well, we got a bit of a letdown. We started the trend of getting JDM cars for no reason, but something I wanted to mention is the Volvo C30 Polestar. Was the only European car of this update, the brand new car, because all of them were Japanese. On this, well, the engine sound is fantastic. 4-wheel drive, a hot hatch from Sweden. You don't expect this type of car from Volvo. And does a really good job. Doesn't beat the Golf, and sometimes drives a bit weird. But the Polestar C30 is just, for me, a really cool car, pretty unique, really cool shape as well. We continue with the letdown of other cars that were added in October, November. But one of those cars was actually pretty cool, was the Mitsubishi FTO. Front-wheel drive, not a bit of horsepower. I think in the position that it sits does a very good job, but it was a bit of a letdown to call it in this month. The Mitsubishi FTO, I only picked it because it's a bit of a fun to drive around, but it's not a super surprising car. Overall, this month was not great. Well, in November, December, we got a nice little surprise, especially for Porsche fans like myself. We gotta call this month the Porsche Unleashed month because we got 4 brand new Porsche 911s, 992 shape 911s. And no, it's not the GT3 RS. I will pick the Porsche 911 Dakar. This car, even in its stock form that I still drive, is a fantastic car. Does a really good job in off-road, on dirt, and even on tarmac does also a pretty cool job. Like, this car is surprising and just demonstrate how good the 911 992 is. Like, the Dakar was a really cool car that was even much better in my opinion than the GT3 RS. I know that the 911 GT3 RS was one of the cars, the most awaited car of all of the cars of this video, but the Dakar was a great surprise. I really wanted this car to be on this game, and hopefully in Forza Horizon 6 the Dakar will be with the Huracan Esterado, because, well, that's another car that is basically its rival. It will be fun to have these two cars compete each other on a future game. So here we are in December, the current day, and on the making of this video, December 30, 2024. And what will be the best car for this month? That probably will be the last few vehicles of Forza Horizon 5. Well, for me, the BMW M5 CS is a great closure of the year. It's a fantastic car. The acceleration, the top speed, the way it behaves, that is a bit erratic, makes the BMW M5 CS such a great car and such a great reminder of the M5 as a benchmark of high performance sedans. The car looks fantastic. I think Playground Games did a really good job modeling this car overall, and even when the color was a bit wrong, you can just fixing the color if you want, but it's just, again, one of the best cars of this month, and probably will be one of the best cars released on this year, well, along with the Porsches and other cars of this list. But we are in the end of this video, and we have a lot of cars to just talk about and just to highlight and spot on. Let me know in the comment section what was your favorite car released on 2024 in Forza Horizon 5, and let me know your opinion in the comment section right below. Hopefully you have a fantastic new year and you enjoy it with your friends and your loved ones. So thanks to you guys, thanks to you, to all your support. It's really cool to you guys, even if you see my videos and only have 30 views or 1000 views, doesn't matter. I think the support is there, and that's all I want to do. Again, this channel is just my hobby. I don't expect to win money of this, and I enjoy making these videos. These reviews are the reason I still keep playing this game, to still enjoying Forza Horizon 5. And hey, it's a nice way to give my opinion that, in some videos doesn't is a bit controversial, but it's still my opinion, and I love to share them here with the world. And hopefully we can see more videos coming soon on 2025. So yeah, guys, thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.